Bring this a little bit closer. Welcome everyone to Diarrhea of a Madman, Volume 5. 5 whole editions of Diarrhea so far by me. So thank you if you're still hanging around. And judging by our subscribers, you have been hanging around and like passing it along because we're up to 113. I'm not saying it's because of this show because it definitely is not because of this show. This is just me to get my midweek rant on. So why not go ahead and start with that? I had topics that Stacy and I did not get to. Actually, we got to them in the previous episode. And then we figured out that neither one of us had turned our microphone on. So we had to redo the episode. And only this time we didn't want to do the same topics because we had just literally fucking discussed them a minute ago. So we came up with we did the B-side topics and it just wasn't to my level. I like the other stuff better, but the first side also had Ivy, who was here with me again today. Can you tell the difference? Like, she is being very docile. I would show you to her if she would come to me, but she's laying here and just being totally cool. But as soon as, Stacy and I get behind the camera and start recording, she wants to be a pain in the ass. So I don't know. One of the topics we discussed, but then didn't discuss was this dude named Steve McCormick. And this motherfucker here ends up falling on a tube or some shit, like an air hose in 2011. Is 48 years old, a truck driver in New Zealand, falls onto a compressed air hose that pierced his buttock, causing air to inflate his body under the skin. He was taken to the hospital and treated for his injuries. Doctors stated that the air separated fat from muscle. Somehow he survived. Okay. Initially off the bat, I'm gonna think he's doing some weird things with some air hoses, like shoving things up his fucking ass is what sounds like he was doing. And if you could see this photo of the guy, you would think he looks like the kind of guy that shoves air hoses up his ass and tries to inflate his buttocks. I mean, it probably makes for a great fart if you think about it. You put air in there because it's like a little technique. People who could like fart on command, most of them really can't fart on command. They have to like lay down and they like pull their legs back and like kind of lean back, your favorite porn position, to really drive the, anyway, and then you open up your ass a little bit and it like pulls in air and then you can like fart on command. So I'm thinking he was like, maybe he was just trying to figure out a really funny joke for his buddies at the truck stop the next day. He was like, I bet I could get like really good farts up. And instead he went a little bit too far onto it and had to go to the hospital. It separated his fat from muscle. It sounds like a really awake freaking tummy tuck or whatever it is when they pull the fat out. Because have you ever seen one of those surgeries? They're like jamming this fucking hose in your gut because they have to like rip the fat away from whatever the fuck it's attached to and then like suck it out. So it's like, I guess it's one of the most painful surgeries because of how much that they do. That and probably shoulder surgery, and then knee, I think, is third. Anyway, so yeah, this fucking dude in New Zealand shoved things up his ass with an air hose, and he lived. They got pretty good health insurance in New Zealand. I wouldn't think they would be like something else, like Canada's. Where surprised he got that done. What was one another subject? We can move on. Okay, I've only done 5 minutes. Oh, the cruise ship Mickey. In 2022, a man won a free drink in an air guitar competition while on a cruise. Yeah, one of those. A fucking air guitar competition. Which his last memory was before waking up overboard in the Gulf of Mexico without the ship in sight. He treads water for 18 hours and was stung by 2 swarms of jellyfish all over his legs and arms before being rescued. Okay, see, now this is the subject that I'm going to bring back up with the wife, because the wife wants to go on a cruise and I am not about it. The majority of them are Motel 6s on the water, and I don't want any part of that shit. And this sounds like one of those cruises. I mean, they have a fucking air guitar competition. I mean, you're not on a, one of those Norwegian freaking Viking cruises if there's an air guitar competition. So, yeah, somebody slipped him a Mickey. Probably meant for someone else, or I don't know, maybe they butt fucked him and threw his ass overboard. Who knows? There's probably more to this story, but he's only talking about. Can you imagine? You just fucking all of a sudden wake up and you're floating in the ocean. I don't know if he's on, if he's jumped or if he was tossed. Chances are you're not holding on to anything. You don't have a buoy with you, or one of those little circle things that they, they're like the toilet seat covers that they throw to people. You don't have one of those. So he's floating in the fucking Gulf of Mexico for 18 hours and just, dude, no. Because you got to think, like, the splash is what woke him up. That'll bring you too. And that's probably what saved his life too, the Mickey, because, like the drunk people in car crashes, they like get up and walk like nothing ever happened, even though the car is completely totaled. Probably the same situation where if he wasn't so fucked up and just, just like jelly, I guess, for lack of a better term, when he hit the water, he probably would have died. Would have snapped something, he would have braced somehow, which would have caused something to break. But he didn't. He's fucking survived. He's a damn champion. I mean, kudos to you, my friend. I'm a cruise in 2020. That was right at. So they've probably saving up during the entire pandemic. And they go on that fucking cruise. They go on a Motel 6 cruise. And this dude wakes up. Oh, in the fucking sea, in the Gulf of Mexico, of all places. Gulf of America now. Apparently, they need to update their resources, and apparently so do I. So good for him. Yep. Damn, I'm treading water for 18 hours. I mean, I'm a good swimmer, but that's a long time. Those seas must have been pretty friendly, damn. In 2011, Sean Murphy, a 38-year-old man from Doncaster, England. I mean, he sounds pretty Irish. If you go by American standards, somebody says Sean Murphy, they immediately assume they're Irish. Attempted to remove a wart from his finger using a 12-gauge shotgun. See, now this is where he sounds English. After consuming several pints of beer. The attempt resulted in the loss of most of his finger. So, I mean, if you look at this guy, I think he's holding the fucking beer in the photo. No, wait, no, that's his badge. I don't know, he must have worked somewhere where it required a badge to work. Anyway, he's got a cigarette in his mouth and he's holding the tip of his finger with like a fucking napkin. Not the most done way of doing that, but probably one of the most effective of getting rid of a wart on your finger is to shoot it off with a 12 gauge shotgun. You may receive a little bit of collateral damage, but I mean, no more so than those commercials that they give us on TV with the drug that they're like, oh, are you tired of having hiccups once a month? Well, then take this fucking pill and you'll never have hiccups again. You'll bleed anally and probably sometimes, shit your pants in certain situations where stuff like that is not good. Anyway, I can't think of a situation where the shitting your pants would be good unless you're in trouble for something and you're trying to get out of it. Shitting your pants may help you. But yeah, so Sean Murphy, cilantro, you fucking retard. Let's get into the juiciness stuff now. Questions from Twitter. Top 5 movies. I got a question about top 5 movies. Okay. All right. I've been sitting in the garage for the past fucking hour. Thanks to one of my friends, and you know who you are, from the good old great state of Colorado. And I've been thinking about stuff because been smoking on some good Colorado stuff, and I'm a big movie buff. So for me to say what is my favorite movie, there really isn't one. What is my favorite movie at the time? What is my favorite genre? Maybe. What is my favorite movie in that genre? Maybe. But I just love movies, dude. And either I like them at the time or I don't. But if I had to pick, I did write some down. Because I know that's a big cop out of what I'm saying. Like, oh, I like all movies. Some of them like this, some of them like that. But top 3 that came out immediately was Jaws, Caddyshack, and WALL-E. Jaws just is a fucking great movie. That movie had me, scared to swim in my pool. It was an above ground pool before anyone gets all uppity on me growing up. And you could see all the way to the other side of the pool, but for some reason I was afraid to be in that water after watching Jaws. And for a movie to have that profound of effect on somebody, not just like when they're asleep, most other scary movies as a kid, as soon as you close your eyes or as soon as things get dark, that's when everything gets scary. Jaws, it was a bright day in the backyard. I could see everything, or birds are chirping. I'm afraid to get in the fucking water because of this movie that I saw that it takes place in fucking New England or upstate damn United States. And in the ocean, not in my fucking parents' backyard in a pool that I can see everything side to side, up, down, everywhere. So Jaws definitely has to be in there. Caddyshack, dude, okay, not only was Caddyshack, or still is, one of the most funniest movies in the world, I would laugh and jack off and then laugh again to that movie. Because you know what I'm talking about? The scene where she ended up being a lesbian, which I hated hearing about later on when I was a younger man, in the documentary about Caddyshack. But yeah, everyone knows the part, you scratched my ankle. And then automatically, not automatically, the scene skips to, sorry, I went to it in my head. The love scene between Danny and the judge's fucking granddaughter, niece, whatever, doesn't matter. Great tits, right? Yeah. So, and then back to laughing. So Caddyshack definitely up there. And then WALL-E. WALL-E is I saw that movie later on in life. I just had my son, and I don't know. Like I said, for most movie buffs, it's what movies are your favorite right now. And then some of them kind of just hit home, make core memories, I guess. And Wally's one of those core memories with me. Just watching with my son. And overall, it's a great fucking movie. The fact that there isn't humans speaking in it for over half the damn movie makes it probably, and it gives it an argument to be one of the best movies of all time. Because humans suck. But yeah, great movie. Love it. And I was trying to go through the different genres of movie, Jaws, and then Caddyshack. So you got, I guess horror. Do you call Jaws horror movie? I guess it is. I mean, it made me afraid as a child, and probably the most afraid I've ever been. Uh, Then, yeah, sure, okay. Then Caddyshack is comedy. Wally, I guess you gotta go pixelated, fucking cartoon. These last two, I don't know, man. You could tell the last two, the weed was kind of hitting me a little bit. But I had to go with like spread out the genre movie. I went Under Siege with action because Under Siege just again maybe I just as I was watching it as a kid, um, just a great movie. Here, from start to finish, pretty damn good soundtrack. The one movie I watched with my father, and I can still remember, uh, the battery's about to die. We're in the kitchen, and it's the scene where she comes out of the cake and she flashes her tits, and my dad just goes, "Oh," like that. That was it. That was all he ever said. I said nothing. It was just him and I in the kitchen. We had a little TV, little VCR set up in there, and watched Under Siege. So yeah, so that was great. So yeah, that and then a sports movie, and it was either this one or Slapshot, and I went with this one because it is the more lifelike, I guess, more intense, and it's Any Given Sunday. So to round out my top five, it's Jaws, Caddyshack, Wall-E, Under Siege, Any Given Sunday. Um, yeah, and before we get fucking going, I gotta give you the questions asked. The Smash Brothers. Oh, I'm undefeated because I used the one that sounds like the Harry Potter guy, Ganondorf or whatever, because whatever. Everyone thinks he's the weakest. I use him, beat everyone's ass, and then the other half the time I use him and I lose because I got that kind of time. And I just want to undercut and make his level look a little bit less than he is. So yeah, come find me, bro. I win at Smash Brothers all the time. Hockey. Jeez. Okay, right now. This has been the best year we have seen in a while that Canada has a good chance to reclaim the Stanley Cup. So we got Jets and Stars, Dallas leading 2-1. The Stars pull that out. Stars pull that out just like they did against the Avs. They'll knock off the Jets. Golden Knights, Oilers. Sorry, Vegas, you're done. Oilers win that one. Panthers, Maple Leafs. That one is back and forth, but as an American, I got to go with the Panthers. Caps, Hurricanes. Again, I want to see Ovi continue to score, but it's not going to happen. Hurricanes pull it out. Who wins it overall? I'm going to say Carolina. Carolina overall wins the Stanley Cup. And that is that. Damn, I didn't even get to my Batman mask. My Batman mask was a mask that I purchased at a concert that I took my daughters to.